So we're going to have a moment of silence for Barb, for Greg, for little Miss Wolf.
She's still distorted. She's just talking too loud into that mic.
And for all of the people we've lost and buried in the last 6 years while we thought the state of Michigan would protect us. Thank you. Michigan Moms United calls for an immediate end to the escalating paramilitary SWAT raids executed across the state. We've interviewed hundreds of compliant, state-sanctioned medical marijuana patients and caregivers since 2010. And they all have horror stories of child endangerment, animal abuse, excessive force, and sexual harassment. I grew up in Michigan. My father was a Washtenaw County Deputy Sheriff when I was a little girl and a career military man. He retired from the Navy a Master Chief. So I love this country. And I'm a supporter of law enforcement. But what I've seen since 2009 in Michigan is drug task forces, drug cops, consistently kicking in doors of homes and businesses and doing sweeps through entire counties, several counties at a time, on the basis of civil asset forfeiture. They want the media to believe it's because we're breaking the law. They want the legislators to believe it's because they're going to get their support at the election time. But we know what Catherine Mish, Grand Rapids City Attorney Catherine Mish, told us in September 2010 in a Michigan Municipal League meeting, which was this. This law is full of holes. We've got dangerous felons taking advantage of the law. She told 100 people in that room that day to join in a lawsuit challenging the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act based on federal law. And she told everybody in that room to make sure their police work with the DEA, work with the county prosecutor, and keep arresting patients so they could get their test cases and work them up through the courts. You think those got up there accidentally? Carruthers? Are you kidding me? You think those court cases got all the way to the Supreme Court accidentally? It was part of a strategy that's been executed by kicking in our doors, by pulling us out of cars. Since 2008, when voters overwhelmingly passed the Medical Marijuana Act, the state has consistently raided, arrested, prosecuted, and removed children from the homes of patients, caregivers, physicians, and their loved ones. Arrest rates for marijuana possession has increased 17% since 2008. Say that. Arrest rates in the state of Michigan have increased 17% since 2008, when we passed this law. That law was designed to decrease arrest rates and to protect us from the police, but they had a different plan. Their plan is to make 80% arrest rates for reported prostitution and drugs. The Michigan State Police consistently make arrests in 80% of reported incidents of drugs and prostitution. This is significantly higher than all reported violent crimes against person, including murder, which is 63%, and rape is 15%. You know what I'm going to say next. Michigan's a great place to live if you're a rapist, but not a medical marijuana patient or caregiver, because our police focus on areas where they can bring in asset forfeiture, because they get to keep everything they take. I attended Governor Snyder's bill signing ceremony in October for 7 civil asset forfeiture bills. You know what those bills do? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Those bills require that maybe you can have a higher level of evidence, but they do not require that the money goes right into the general fund, and those 7 bills do not require that police need a conviction before forfeiting our property. So when you hear these people talk today, and they tell you about their families and what was taken from them, you know that it's because our legislature refuses to protect us. I have taken so many SWAT survivors in to see their legislators, and they're all very sorry at the time, and then when they get out on that floor, they vote the way the police tells them to vote. They vote the way the Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan tells them to vote. They vote the way the Michigan State Police tells them to vote. They vote the way the County Sheriff's Association tells them to vote. And our legislators, with the exception of Rep. Irwin and Representative Gary Glenn, vote exactly the way that the Police Chiefs Union tell them to vote. Those bills have done nothing to stop Michigan police agencies from continuing to raid people with no criminal intent. In fact, I believe those bills likely added to the frenzy of raids we are experiencing right now statewide. Public safety is clearly decreased through prioritizing police resources in areas where they can gain financially through civil asset forfeiture and federal grants for drug task forces. The Comorn Law Office recently filed a civil rights violation complaint against the Michigan State Police Forensic Science Division due to the Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan implementing a policy that directs all Michigan State Police lab scientists to intentionally report the possession of marijuana edibles as a misdemeanor under Michigan law as Schedule 1 THC, a felony. I was thrilled to discover this because we have known since the act was passed that these people are out to get us anyway. And now Michael Comorn's law office has the emails from Ken Stecker of the Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan that came directly out of Attorney General Bill Schuette's office. That email did. You guys know about this? Ken Stecker directed all of the Michigan State Police Crime Lab staff to say they just can't identify what this stuff is so that they could charge us with Schedule 1 synthetic THC felonies. We need protection from our legislators. We need for our legislators to look at us and think, gosh, these people passed a law. These people aren't rapists or murderers. Maybe the police should be going after the rapists and the murderers instead of...
Do your job!
Right now, Representative Clint Kesto is holding a hearing right over there about whether or not the police should be able to stop us roadside and do a swab and figure out how much THC is in our bodies. Of this campaign, because we're going to stop the raids. No, stop the raids!
Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids!
You can keep cheering if you want. I know you want to hear Rick Thompson, though. That's why you're getting quiet. You want to hear Rick Thompson. Everybody give it up for Rick Thompson.
Yeah!
Hello, everybody. My name is Rick Thompson. My representative, my senator, is Jim Ananick. Jim Ananick is a strong supporter of citizens' rights. He's an excellent representative, excellent senator that we have. Look at these doors behind me. Those are beautiful doors, right? But they are closed to the public. You can't get in through there. Look at the dome above us. It's a beautiful dome, isn't it, right? But this whole Capitol building is closed to the public. You can't get in there to make positive change. The ability to protest, the ability to make signs and banners, flag them, fly them high, show what you mean, let everyone see your opinion. That's a uniquely American right. Let's express it. There's a blank poster board back at the women's grow table. There are pens there. If you don't have a sign already made, feel free to make one. We also have a dry erase sign right over here. Right there. See it in the air? You want to make a sign just temporary and get a picture of yourself doing that so you can post it on Facebook and Instagram and through social media. You can do that too. That way you don't have to make a sign and carry it all day long. But if you do make a sign and carry it all day long, carry it high. Carry it with pride. Carry it because we're Americans, right? That's right. And Americans don't predate on other Americans. We don't eat our own. And when raid teams come and they steal your stuff and they don't give you a reason why and they don't give you the opportunity to take it back and they sell it before your court case is even completed, that's un-American, isn't it? Yeah. Asset forfeiture drives the raids that we're here to talk about today. Asset forfeiture is a horrible attribute of law enforcement that perverted the intent from protect and serve to punish and revenue generate. Now, we need to make sure that this is more than just a momentary rally. We need to make sure that these emotions that you're feeling right now and the words we're saying carry forth. So I need everybody to get your cell phones out right now. Get out your cell phones. Let's take pictures of what's going on right now. Share them on your social media sites with the hashtag Stop the Raid, just like you see up here. Take photos of each other. Take photos of the signs. Take photos of the parents and the children if they allow it. Make sure everybody sees what's happening here. Because each of you represents 1,000 other Michigan citizens that could not make it here today. They were working. They're sick. They can't do it because it's chilly. It's inconvenient, short notice. It doesn't matter. You are here. And each face is 1,000 citizens. Say that. We are 1,000 citizens. 1,000 citizens. That's right. Now, remember this when you speak to your representatives. It's not just one person's voice. It's the voice of 1,000 that you carry with you. Don't let hesitation or fear stop you from going to the office of your representative or of your senator today. After this rally, make sure that the office of your elected representative hears your voice. They feel what we feel. They know what we know. We're here today because there have been recent raids. We had 12 raids in 48 hours in northern Michigan. We had 4 raids on the west side of the state, 3 raids in Genesee County, and an untold number of raids and visits by law enforcement in Detroit. This is a jihad against medical marijuana distribution in the state of Michigan, and our patients deserve better. Do our patients deserve better?
Yeah!
Do we deserve better?
Yeah!
Are we going to fight for better?
Yeah!
Are we going to settle for wrong?
No!
Hey, you got that one right. I was worried. Fantastic. Look, we have many fantastic activists in the crowd today. Many people here that can educate you on what's going on and how best to prepare yourself for what could be and what we're preparing against in the future. Make sure you stop and talk to the people of Women Grow. Talk to the people from MI Normal. Talk to the people from MI Legalize. Talk to the people from Abrogate. Talk to Michigan Moms United. Talk to the folks from Michigan Parents for Compassion. Every organization that exists out there exists not because we're making money, but because we want to help. Utilize the resources available to you, which are the people standing right next to you right now. And I don't see you taking their pictures on the phone like I told you to do 2 minutes ago. So get those phones out and get it done. Don't make me come in the crowd. All right, you're excused. You're excused. Also, don't forget, we have some chairs up here that are not being used. Even if you're not elderly or ill, if you need to use the chairs for whatever reason, please do so. We want to make sure you're comfortable for the duration of this protest. I'd like to turn it back over to Charmy Golson, but I do want to say, make sure you're celebrating what we're doing today. Each one of you is 1,000 citizens, and be proud of who you are and where you're at today. Thanks very much. I'm Rick Thompson. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Rick. Yes, and I want to say a quick prayer too. I want to say thank you to Kashla. Thank you, Creator, for bringing us all here safely today. And we ask for your blessing on our words, and we pray that the hearts and the minds of the people are opened. Thank you. I got something to tell you. Josie had a baby a couple days ago. Josie and Dakota had a baby. I went there with my boys. We pulled up the floor. We did laundry. I made dinner, and we went and had a baby at the hospital, where CPS is now evaluating to see whether or not she can go home. Maria Green is there. I have been at the hospital. Josh Covert is on the way. But after this rally, I may ask as many of you who are interested to get into your cars and follow me to Kalamazoo and fill that hospital with people until they let her take that baby home. Okay? Just a little side note, I realize we're here about the raids, but these are our children. Okay? Our children. Okay? Somehow in society, other people have got the idea that they have a say in our lives with our children. And CPS has gotten completely out of control, as you likely well know. And if you don't, Steve Green is going to tell you all about it.
Hello, everyone. When I think about it, and I think about civil asset forfeiture, and I think about, when I hear about it, and I think about civil asset forfeiture and stopping the raids, that comes really near and dear to my heart. But we think about it when our friends are in an accident or when something happens, and we say, that can be replaced. The money, the TVs, the things they stole can be replaced. But in our case, when they stole our infant daughter, that isn't as easy to replace. When she said Dada for the first time, I wasn't there. The only reason Bree was taken by CPS was because we were medical marijuana patients and caregivers. So now we have this tremendous fear that the state is out after people who use marijuana. And I don't think it's a mistaken fear. Many of us here can say they came for me because of medical marijuana. Many people can say they were pulled over and they saw a medical marijuana card and it caused more problems. So ultimately, we have to stop the raids, we have to respect the law, and with respecting the law comes the part of respecting the child's rights and respecting the family and the patients and the parents. So we have to remember that these are our babies. We take care of them. This is a community. And so with that, we don't need the assistance of them coming along with crazy information saying it's okay if you take Percocet and Oxycontin, but we got to get you off that marijuana right away. Those are ridiculous statements. When they asked the DEA, when they asked them, is heroin more dangerous than marijuana, and she sat there and looked stupid. Every elementary kid knows whether heroin or marijuana is more dangerous. So we need to face the facts, we need to respect the law, and we need to stop stealing children.
A handful of those raids, you know, because we've got so many of them, we can talk about them in groups. A handful of those raids were executed in Gaylord just a couple of weeks ago. Now, the people in Gaylord did something that was very, very important after the first group of sweeps that Straight Area Narcotics Enforcement, otherwise known as SANE, executed in May of last year. The people of Gaylord fought back. They went to the media, they took their case to the media, they hired lawyers, they wrote an ordinance to allow dispensaries. And a mere week later, SANE, Straight Area Narcotics Enforcement, which is a multi-jurisdictional drug task force, which lives literally on the blood of children and federal grants and asset forfeiture. So those guys just did another sweep right after the people of Gaylord worked so hard to protect themselves, educate their community, and create laws. But you know what I've learned? It really doesn't matter what kind of laws we create because of the law enforcement lobbying forces in this building. Okay? Please welcome Chad from Gaylord.
Hi, my name is Chad Morrow. My representative is Tristan Cole. I live in Gaylord, Michigan. The Straight Area Narcotics Enforcement Team has raided my friends, my families, patients, caregivers, friends, and family up there in northern Michigan multiple times in the last year. We had 8 raids last May. We had 10 last month. Like Charmy said, in between that time, we went door to door, we got petitions signed. We created an ordinance allowing medical marijuana dispensaries in Otsego County, zoning them. As soon as that was in place, a week later, Sane came through again. In the meantime, in between these 2 times, I'd like to also point out the fact that some of the people raided and charged didn't even get to face a trial because they're no longer with us today. One person passed away due to liver cancer, also probably due to the added stress, anxiety, and everything brought on by these cops. Another person, she got into the business solely because she lost her husband due to cancer, got into this to help other people, was raided, was put into a situation where she was worried about losing her kids, worried about losing her family, going to jail, and she took her own life. It's bullshit. It needs to stop. Myself, I was actually in a dinner, a campaign kickoff for a prosecutor that we're trying to get elected in Otsego so we can have some prosecutorial discretion and not have these raids anymore. So there's multiple farmers, multiple dispensary owners, caregivers, and patients at a campaign kickoff. The current prosecutor, Mike Roller, decides to launch a series of raids in the town as we come out of dinner. It's war in Otsego County. There's cops at every dispensary, multi-jurisdictions, border patrol, federal agents. It was a complete war zone. One little thing I'd like to point out too, when Charmy was saying that these people survive and live off of this, I have a statistic here for the Straits Area Narcotics Enforcement Team. They seized $1,584,490 in total value of drugs. Take away marijuana seizure, they left with $43,769. That's a joke. The reason they get the marijuana is because they don't have to investigate, they don't have to work, all they have to do is open the window of their car and they can smell us. They don't smell rapists, they don't smell murderers, they don't smell the kidnappers. They smell us and they come after us and our money and our medicine that is here to heal. That's all we're here to do, is to heal and to help people. That's what we voted for. We voted for safe access for all of us and all of you. We didn't vote for more crime, more felonies, and to line the pockets of these cops. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jolene Fowler. Hi, I'm the Huntress. I'm from Emmett County. We have a moratorium in Emmett County. Our sheriff says we can't even have a dispensary. No dispensaries in Emmett County. But before they raided Gaylord, they raided all my friends providing care in Emmett County. And when Sane was there raiding my girlfriend's house and desecrating her stillborn child's grave, his ashes, she said, we passed a law. I thought I had protections, and one of the officers looked at it and said, I voted yes on the MMA. That's what brings me here today. We love the Medical Marijuana Act. That's what he said to her. We love the Medical Marijuana Act. Sorry. That baby whose grave they desecrated was supposed to grow up with my toddler there. This is really hard for me to talk about because all my friends spent Christmas in jail. And when we organized against Sane in my county, they raided all my friends and all their family members who had the ability to speak out. So I'm here today as a mom because about 5 years ago I recognized that the war that's most likely to claim one of my children is the stupid drug war. It's most likely to take one of my kids away from me or take me away from them. That's ridiculous. I'm more afraid of the police coming to remove my home and my children from my home than I am of them going to fight in Iraq. That's right. That's scary. That's bullshit. We don't have to take it anymore. This is a plant. When I passed the MMA, I thought I was offering people the right to possess cannabis. But apparently, cannabis is supposed to grow exactly 2.5 ounces. Exactly. Does your tomato plant only grow 6 tomatoes? Who here has grown a tomato plant that only grows 6 tomatoes every damn time? Who? Not one. I thought when I passed the act, I was passing something that would provide people with protections, with rights, with ways to give us access so that cancer patients could be healed, epileptic people could stop having seizures, and we could all have a choice as to how we deal with our chronic pain. But apparently to be a patient, I have to make my pain visible. I have to wear it on the outside every day. Apparently when you go in the pharmacy, a police officer should be there making sure you're sick too, right? Right? I shouldn't have to look that way. I shouldn't have to be afraid to bring my kids here today. My friends shouldn't have to be afraid. So when I say safe, I want you all to say access. Safe!
Access!
Safe!
Access!
That's right. That's what we're here for today. Access. Access to something, and I shouldn't have to wipe the hippie off me to get it. I'm not a hippie, I'm a hempie. When I was 11 years old, I realized that hemp could save the planet. I didn't even smoke pot yet. Hemp can save the planet. So let me tell you today, as we leave here, we can all fight behind closed doors about regulation. We can all sit there and debate about how much marijuana we should take and how much hemp we should do this with. And we can all hate each other quietly behind closed doors over business and bullshit and millions of dollars and the other green money we all know this plant can make. But when we stand here in front of these politicians, in front of our so-called representatives, we have to say nobody's going to go to jail for a damn plant anymore, no matter how stupid they are. Because that's stupid. And I'm not going to lock up valuable members of my society over something that should be regulated like tomatoes or oregano. Right? Right? Because everybody has something to give back to our community. And when we jail them up and we take them away, we lock up their productivity forever. Addicts need treatment, not jail. Right? So one more time, when I say safe, I want you to say access. Safe!
Access!
When I say stop, you say the raids. Stop!
The raids!
Stop!
The raids!
And when I say hemp, hemp, you say hooray. Hemp, hemp!
Hooray!
Thank you.
Sounds
Hello,
good.
my name's Al Witt. I'm from Taylor. My name's Al Witt. I'm from Taylor, Michigan. My representative is Tristan Cole. And the police had raided us back in May. I got raided. They took everything from us. And with that being happened, they tried making us look like cartel members and destroy our families, destroy homes, and cause people to kill themselves, like Chad was earlier speaking of. And we stood up and we unified and brought everybody together inside the town and put an ordinance in place. And we put an ordinance in place and helped out and worked all together for unity inside the community. And bringing everybody together and standing up for the patients to give them their access. And I went to trial and everything, and I lost, unfortunately, and I actually go to jail April 4th after Hash Bash, all for protecting the patients. And as we're trying to remove Mike Rolla from office, the prosecuting attorney up there, we're at a kickoff for the new prosecutor, and the narcotics team decides they want to raid the dispensaries again. It's become asinine and it's a problem. There's a lot of people here from northern Michigan, and it's about time we had a voice. You know, I got Donnie over here, he's got a family. He can tell you all about it. They come in and take all this stuff. He's got 3 kids and no vehicles now because of these police officers. It's a joke. Alex, he's working hard, took his job from him, he works, he's got a family. Like, this is bullshit. It's bogus. You can't be doing this stuff, and it's got to stop. And the only way it's going to work is everybody coming together and unifying as one. Because without this, we're not going to be here, guys, and it's sad. And I sacrificed my life. I'm a felon now, and I'm going to go to jail for this, and I stand up for everybody here, and I love all of you guys. I seen Ken Murray out there. I don't know where you're at, Ken, but that man right there is an idol to me. He's now been raided 5 times. And every time he gets raided, he's back open the next day. And I idol that man right there because he is a true warrior for this community.
I seriously forgot. I'm sorry.
Stephen Marks over here, he's got the dog. They raided his store. This is the second time it's happened to him. They put the dog in the pound. This is asinine. Put him in jail, bashed his door down. The thing was unlocked. And the saddest part about the last raids in Garrett is they went to kick in the door of one of the stores, and mind you, we all have open signs. We're all open. We care people. We're here to talk and help you, not hide. That's why we put an open sign on the door. They kicked in the door of a daycare. So you have gunned cops coming into a daycare saying, get on the ground, armed, and it's a daycare. They thought they were raiding a dispensary. It's asinine, and this has to stop. They never fix the door, do they? No, they tear it down and they leave it there. That's not my fault. That's not my problem. You shouldn't be out here carrying people. It's horrible. No, we gotta stop the raids, guys. Everybody, and it takes unity. We all have to unify together. Stop the raids!
Stop the raids! Woo!
Thank you, Al. We had a legislator come out. Apparently they can hear you inside, my friends. Please welcome Senator Coleman Young.
Yes!
Hello, everybody.
Hello!
I'm your state senator, Coleman Alexander Young II.
Hello!
And I just wanted to say I'm sick and tired of all these damn raids. How about you? I just wanted to say in a country where you're 4 times more likely to be arrested if you're an African American, and 3 times more likely in this state, 2 times more likely in Wayne County, it is time to end prohibition, and it's time to end it now. So I just want to say for all those people who've been arrested, for all those people who've been abused, for all those people who were just trying to get their medicine, for their grandparents, for their children, for their mothers, for their fathers, for their sisters, for their uncles, all the people we have lost and been abused by this drug war. Today is the day where good people of like minds and sound hearts coalesce behind one common goal. That in the future, no one will ever be arrested for the possession of marijuana again. So I just want to say I stand with you, I'll fight with you, I'll here with you, rain, sleet, snow, 30 degrees below. We will not stop fighting until we end the prohibition of marijuana and can tell our children and grandchildren it is not right for you to be locked up for possession of a plant that cannot kill you. It's wrong. So thank you. God bless you. Continue your good work. I'm with you from here all the way to the end of the road. Oh yeah. And free the weed!
Well, that's not my talking point, but he is a senator. That was fabulous! That's right, that was fabulous. So, in case you guys want to see the pen that I got when I went to Governor Snyder's bill signing ceremony for the 7 useless civil asset forfeiture bills, it's right here. Here's what we got, a pen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm going to call Robin Puckett up next. She's a raid victim, a SWAT survivor from Jackson. Robin, why don't you come on up? And then, is there anybody else out here? Please come queue up over here if you've been raided, if you've got a police encounter that you want to talk about. Right over on this side.
Oh, okay. Not necessarily a car.
Here's Robin.
All right. Hi, Robin Puckett, registered nurse, bachelor's in health services, compliant patient, compliant caregiver, rated, damaged, listed my address online and in the paper, ended up with a broken neck and wrist because of it. I had to pay for getting myself better. I'm a compliant patient. I'm a compliant caregiver. Our lives matter.
Well, a lot of these people are going to weep while they talk to you, and that's because these raids destroy families. I've seen big, strong men taken to their knees after these kinds of things. Brian, will you come tell these people what you told me earlier? This is Brian Rice. He's a lot smarter than I am.
Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids!
One of the biggest misconceptions of law enforcement is that it only does damage after you've been convicted. The problem is from the moment they enter your life, the moment you have your first law enforcement encounter, things go bad. One of the important facts you should know is that the second most stressful thing that can happen to you in life behind the death of a family member is to be charged with a crime. When you're charged and not convicted, you dangle in limbo. You don't know what's going to happen to your house, to your family. Your friends may turn their backs on you. You don't know what's going to happen next. So we need to stand with the people who have been raided. We need to stand with the people who have been charged and not yet convicted. You need to go to their trials. You need to go to their hearings. You need to offer them food and comfort and sanctuary. All of you that are here are the tip of the spear. You must leave here and go home and spread the message. Rally people to your side. Rally people to the cause. Everyone thought that everything was fine. The law was passed, everything was good. And nothing could be further from the case. It's time to stand up and stop the raids. Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids!
See, I told you. You guys all right out there? Brothers, how you doing? Brothers, how are you doing?
We're doing great! We're not
Sisters? Do you want to know why Michigan Moms United is leading this cause? Because it is the mothers that give birth to the nations. We are in charge of the health of the people. It is our job. Please welcome Steve Sanderson.
Yay!
How you doing? My name is Steven Sanderson. I come from Bay County. We're also a county that's not allowed to have dispensaries. I have to drive 45 minutes to an hour to receive any medicine. If we try to grow our medicine, they will kick our door in. I got raided 14 months ago now. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and I've been through some pretty hard things. Police came, I would say, it was bayonet. They came at least 20 to 25 officers deep. There were so many officers trying to fit through my door, they were knocking themselves down. My dogs didn't know what to do. One dog ran, shit himself on the floor, scared to death. My other dog tried to hold him back. They threatened to shoot the dog. My old lady got up off the floor and dove on the dog to save our dog's life. The police came in, threw me all over, picked me up, body slammed me numerous times. I had not restrained in any way. They didn't come in looking for medicine though. They came in looking for money. They wanted money, they wanted jewelry, they took silver from us, they took vehicles from us. They didn't care about the medicine. They weren't there for the medicine. They were there to rob us. Thieves, exactly. That's exactly what they are. We've turned them into thieves. We haven't, but the government's turned them into thieves. Okay. Sorry, I'm not a speaker who's trying to hear you. Anyways, when the police were in my home, my child, we had to get him out of bed and get him out of there because I didn't want him to experience that. As my child is in the living room, there's police walking through my living room, and this is a month after Christmas, so my child has a lot of new toys sitting around. The police are just stepping on his toys and breaking his toys right in front of him for no reason, just to be assholes.
They turned around, they took everything out of my home that they thought was valuable, and only things that were valuable. I had certain things that wasn't as valuable as the next, but they were the same items. They left that, but took the other. They just ran over us. I felt like I had no rights. My children today are still traumatized. My wife's still traumatized. My dogs are traumatized. It's just unbelievable. I feel like I had no rights in any way when it comes to minutes, civil. I had no way. I couldn't do anything. The police turned around. They didn't even arrest me. They took all my stuff and just drove off in my vehicle and just left me standing there. Took my cell phone, took everything. I have a full license. I was fully legal. I did nothing wrong. Thank you for coming today, and thank you for hearing my story.
Well, we got some news about that hearing I was telling you about earlier. Remember that? Please welcome Roger Malforth from Jackson County Compassion Club.
We have to stop the paramilitary police, without a doubt. We have lost so many rights and freedoms in this country. I don't know what we have anymore. Cuba has more rights and freedoms and for their people than we do. They have free health care. They have free education. We don't have any of it. It's pay, pay, pay. I just came from the House committee meeting on Senate Bill 207 and 434. I'd asked to testify on those and was told that they had already taken testimony and they would not accept any more. Senator Irwin, House Representative Irwin did ask some very pointed questions, but they were ignored by the rest of the committee. The committee for 207 and 434 passed. What that will allow is the police in a pilot program with unproven technology doing mouth swab and test you for cannabis. Now the question is, if they have opiates and they have a prescription for opiates, they get a free ride. If you have cannabis and a medical marijuana card, your recommendation from the physician, tough. You're going to go to jail. You're going to get fined. You're going to be pushed forward on this. It's a pilot program. The technology isn't there. What we have to do now is reach out to our representatives as it goes to the House for vote. And we have to get them and convince them that these are bad bills, these are affront to our freedoms, our liberties, to have the medications of our choice. Shit, there are so many new studies out. Where's this one? I just love this one. I have it here somewhere. I'm so upset by what's happened over there. The effects, this is from January 6, 2016. The effects of cannabis on regular cannabis consumption ability to ride a bicycle. Bottom line is a defined THC concentration that leads to an inability to ride a bicycle cannot be presented. They can't do it. They don't know what it is, but yet they want to take some arbitrary number and arrest you. We're turning into a police state. Since I've been involved in medical marijuana since 2008, I have watched how they've been manipulating it and using it and taking our rights and our freedoms away. They unscrupulously attack the poor. This bill with the pilot program, you know, if you've got the money to afford a high-power attorney, you're going to get off. But with a swab, and you can't afford a high-power attorney, you lose. They're going to offer you to 7411, and you're going to pay, and your life is going to be ruined. You can't get Medicaid. So all of the benefits and the rights that you have, they take them away. We must reach out to our representatives and have this killed at the House level. Thank you.
We have a real problem with the legislators in Michigan. You know, I really thought I could just take the people raided by their local drug cops to their legislator And they would say, my God, I had no idea. Let's take care of this. It's not happening. It's not happening. I've already given you a list of the lobbying law enforcement agencies that are in this building. We got to break the code somehow. I think we should meet back here in a month, and I think next month we need to do this outside of the Michigan State Police Post. I'm not kidding. Do I look like I'm kidding? Look at me. I'm not kidding.
I'll be there for you.
This gentleman was also raided. He's another SWAT survivor, Stephen Mark. He's going to tell you his story next. Thank you.
Woo, Steven!
And Buddy.
I have been robbed twice by the police. I have been raided. My safety has been stolen from me by the police, by the men in blue, the women in blue, by the people holding guns. They aim guns at you, they steal your belongings because you choose to use cannabis instead of Big Farm. Fuck Big Farm. I will not put that shit in my body now. I will not put it in my body ever. And you don't get to tell me what the fuck I do with my body. I am sick of the corruption in America. I am sick of the corruption in this building. I am sick of fucking scumbags like Rick Jones and Rick Snyder. I do not take shit from other people. I will not take your shit. Fuck you, you are criminals.
Cops are thieves!
Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids!
Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids!
This is Donnie.
Hello.
Hi!
My name's Donald. I'm owner of D&L's Medicinal Exchange in Gaylord. I was there along with one of my employees during the raid. They came in. We had a customer. She was an elderly customer. I'm not sure what happened to her. They came in immediately. They threw my employee on the ground. They threw me on the ground. They took all of our medicine. They took my vehicle, my phone. They said, we're not being arrested. Charges are soon to come. They took all my cannabis cards. I can't get medicine anywhere. My wife worries every single day about me owning this shop or even operating and knowing it's the right thing to do. All my employees are still here to stand strong. I opened this dispensary after the law has been passed, after the ordinance has been passed, allowing us to be here, thinking that I was going to be safe and that I was doing the right thing. And I was wrong. They came in and they took everything. Said I had to buy my vehicle back. I just purchased the vehicle with my tax refund. Had nothing to do with any money that came out of the shop whatsoever. They told me $2,000. I only paid $4,000 for the vehicle. I have 3 children and prevented them from doing anything. We could not leave our house. I live out of town. I had no access to do anything. It was a struggle opening back up the shop. We had a few farmers that were likely to...
You suck, Carson! That's profit off patients.
Again, I still open the shop. I'm still here supporting every single patient that we all have the right to use medical cannabis. We all voted for it. We have our ordinances that allow it. We have processing centers. We're allowed to have extract. Anybody that looks up the definition of cannabis, it says any form of, that's extracts, that's edibles. It's all allowed no matter what anybody says. We can walk right down the road and have every form of cannabis we want, but you drive 3 hours up north and they're going to tell us it's illegal. And they're going to take all of our money and all of our medicine and leave it at that. They said I have 21 days or they're going to destroy my property. That doesn't make any sense. They're just going to do away with my vehicle and money and my patient's rights, and they took everything. That's all.
So I think that was an interesting greeting for Representative Colton that we just delivered. You know, he was our friend early on. We gave him a whole bunch of money.
He's a politician.
Jolene wanted to say something quick like again, and then we'll have Terry come out. How you guys doing out there? You all right? It's not too cold? Are you angry yet?
So after the first raids, Al Witt and Chad Moreau, they organized and they passed an ordinance in Gaylord. And we all went to those city council meetings and we met with their representatives and we talked. And you know who never showed up? Lola. You know who never showed up? Our prosecutor, Lola. He never came out. Sane never came out to tell us they were going to raid us again. They didn't come down and talk to anybody in the zoning ordinance meeting. They never showed up at any of those meetings. But we were all there. We were all talking about how we wanted safe access to cannabis in our community. So when we protested, we marched all over Gaylord. We went down to the state police post. We went around the courthouse. We were asking, who's in charge, man? Who had these orders? What were you doing? And they were all like, hey, I was just doing my job.
F you!
I got a message to all the police who are just doing your job. You with the hand on the trigger, you with your finger on the trigger, you holding the gun, you're the conscientious objector. You have the opportunity to stop doing your job, man, and say, hey, what I'm doing is wrong. These patients passed a law and they have right to do this. They have right to be in jail for 48 hours or 72 hours. That's a lot shorter than my friends losing their lives because they're now habitual offenders. Habitual offenders for medical marijuana. That's disgusting. So I think we should all march to the state police post here because somebody in this state gives these orders. And I'm going to keep marching to the top of the chain until I find out who that asshole is. Stop the raids!
Stop the raids! Stop the raids!
Last week I attended a Thetford Township Hall meeting. Anybody ever been to Thetford Township? It's about this big. Just north of Flint. Actually, myself, Jamie Lowell, Jim Powers, attorney Jeff Frazier, a bunch of us descended on that little bitty township hall because the Flint Area Narcotics Group, otherwise known as FANG, who has been kicking indoors and raiding people like, it's just going out of style lately, wants Thetford Township to give them money so they can do that in their area. Now, the police chief was really clear. He was like, well, you guys, they can come in and do whatever they want anyways. But we might as well pay them. So they are being squeezed right now, these drug task forces. The Obama administration has, believe it or not, scaled back in many ways on the drug war. As a matter of fact, early December, all of our county sheriffs had to give their tanks back. Oh, they're not really tanks. They don't like it when we call it tanks. It's not the real name. It's an MRAP. But let me tell you something. When they load up in it and roll up on you, that's a tank. And it's military equipment. We have militarized police in this country today because in the 80s, the Pentagon started giving people retired military equipment, giving all these little tiny local police forces military equipment. Here's $16,000, Thetford Township. Give it back to us. We'll give you a tank. Oh, sorry, an MRAP. To, use in the drug war, which is really a war on us. Right? No more drug war. It's the longest running civil war our country has ever seen. And they've ramped it up and ramped it up. The events of Ferguson, Missouri a couple years ago really was the tipping point because reporters flooded to Ferguson after Michael Brown was killed and they got arrested. And they didn't like it. They were like, they arrested us. And then they started looking at these county sheriffs with birds' nests on top of their tanks and nighttime vision goggles and sniper stuff. And they started researching it. And within 2 weeks, the New York Times put up an interactive map. You can find it. where you hover your mouse over your county and you can see every bit of military equipment the federal government has given your local police. We need to end the unholy marriage between the federal government and our local police, because we need our local police to protect us. We need them in uniforms, in cop cars with bubbles on the top, like when my father was a cop and had a badge and a little gun, sitting on the corner so that you can walk up to him and say, hey, can you help me? We need community policing. My father was a police officer. I'm in a unique position to call for these reforms. It's the drug cops, you guys. It is the drug task forces that are executing all of this under the direction of Attorney General Bill Schuette, who fought against the act, who worked to fight the act with Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard. They lost, but they made us a promise at that time. They said, if you pass this law, you're going to see problems with it. And they've created every one of those problems. And the men and women in this building have done nothing to pass laws to protect us. They've introduced laws to take away our kids. They've introduced laws to reassess our patient status. They've introduced laws to take glaucoma out of the qualifying conditions. Look what Roger just told us about giving police more tools with which to come at us and arrest us. Stop the raids!
Stop the raids!
Getting tired? It's not very enthusiastic, you guys. Please, here's Terry. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Terry Marinchett and I live in Ogama County. LaDanna Schultz is my prosecutor and Bruce Rundin is my state rep. I'm the Tin Man and cannabis is my oil. And without it, I can't travel my golden brick road of life. We need to stop these raids. When Sting came into my home, they told me how to become a legal patient. When they did, 30 days later, I was. But previously, Sting has come into my home with nobody but minor children there. They put guns to my children's head. My 5-year-old daughter watched them kneel on my son with a gun at the back of his head. She's traumatized forever. That same little girl at 13 was ripped out of the shower when they were told she was in the shower. While in the process, other people were throwing a cancer patient that was cut open from hip bone to hip bone, throwing her around my house. I had to walk out. Because I was walking out, they finally called for a female officer. My last encounter, which also concerned this same daughter that was ripped out of the shower, she asked her mom to watch her kids while she made funeral arrangements for her mother-in-law. I was placed in the back of a CPS car with my grandchildren and told, maybe you really are trying to be a legal patient. I was fortunate because in high school, my freshman year, I learned to get involved by being part of the Earth Day Environmental March, April 22nd, 1971. And in government class, I was taught that pursuit of happiness is a right that our veterans fight for us to keep every single day. How can we have that pursuit of happiness without a quality of life? They need to respect the will of the people and do unto others as you would have them done unto you. And I would like to thank CPS for all of the tools that they've given me. Because now I go for court support whenever someone's kind enough to pick me up for a ride. Because this abuse has to stop, and it has to stop now.
Senator's got an update. He actually spoke to Representative Colton while we were heckling him.
Well, the good news is he told me that he is against these two bills. He was not aware that they have gone through the House Judiciary Committee, and it seems like they've made some kind of agreement with Jones to get it through. So anyway, what he told me is if we can get the House Democrats and 7 Republicans to vote against those two bills, they will die. So again, it is up to us to reach out to our representatives and convince them that these bills are bad, that this is a pilot program. We should at least have the right to refuse this pilot swab so that we can have a blood test drawn. Right now, if you refuse that swab, if this passes, you will be charged just as if you refused a breathalyzer for a DUI. And this is a pilot program with unproven technology, and we don't even know what the rates are for impairment. So, thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Remember I told you there were 2 legislators that we could rely on. Now we know there's a third because Senator Coleman Young came out and spoke to us. But do you recall the 2 legislators that I personally have said are the only 2 who will help us? Quiz time! Who were they?
Jeff Irwin.
Representative Jeff Irwin, the most liberal representative in the House, and Representative Gary Glenn, the most conservative. It's a weird world. But here we have Rep. Irwin. Please welcome him.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. My name is Jeff Irwin. I'm the state representative from Ann Arbor. It's great to see so many friendly faces here at the Capitol today. Thanks for coming. Give yourselves a little round of applause. Come on. I want you to know that if you're loud enough, they can hear you inside, and they need to hear you because we need to end this war on drugs. Every one of you here today are here to take one more brick out of that wall. Yeah, there's a little bit of feedback. You know, we're here to end this war on drugs, and you need to raise your voices. So I want to thank you for being here today, and I want to ask you to do one thing before you leave Lansing. I want to make sure that you go up to the office of your legislators, both in the House and in the Senate, and visit their office. Let them know why you're here. Let them know what you want. What do you want?
Stop the raids!
That's right. You want to stop these raids. You want to stop the war on drugs. It's a war on our own people. It's expensive. It's senseless. It ruins lives. And we're going to win. And we're going to win because people like you are showing up to Lansing. You're going to show up in these offices. You're going to make sure you vote. You're going to tell your friends to vote. You're going to tell your friends who your county prosecutor is and whether or not they ride hard on people who are engaging in victimless activities that shouldn't be crimes. You're going to reach out to your friends and family and let them know about your sheriff and whether your sheriff is spending their time trying to go after real criminals that are making life tough in your community, or whether they're going after medical marijuana patients and other people who are engaging in a victimless activity that should never have been illegal. Right? We're going to go out there and you're going to tell your friends and family who's on your city council and whether or not they're standing up for your rights. And you're going to make sure that when you're talking to all those friends and family, you carry with you the petition to legalize marijuana in the state of Michigan with Am I Legalized? Let's get those signatures. Let's get it on the ballot. Now, it may not always feel like it, but I can tell you that we're winning. We are winning. This war on drugs is becoming more untenable. It's becoming more obvious to more and more people this is a senseless waste of money, time, and life. So let's keep up the pressure. Let's keep working with our communities. Let's keep saying what needs to be said loud and proud and make sure everyone knows that this war on drugs needs to end, and it starts now. Thank you for being here.
What happens this November, my friends? Every county prosecutor and sheriff is up for re-election. Think about that for a little while. Who's next? You! Come here, young lady. It's my understanding there's an Am I Legalized person here that wants to do some presenting as well. Is that person here? Is David Rudoy here? Are any of the lawyers here? Attorneys? No. Come here, Mama. Come on over here. This is Pauline.
Gateway Village Apartments. I got evicted for using my medication. I lived there 5 years before this happened. I felt extremely violated and trapped. They gave me a 24-hour eviction notice. And eventually they let me have a week. Oh, that was mighty white of them, huh? Lucky for me, my sister Becky stepped in and gave me temporary shelter. Since then, Murphy, my cat, and I are doing a lot better. I even gained 6 pounds! Yeah! That may not seem to be a lot to you, but it sure the hell is to me. So, miracles do happen. So, in closing, thank you very much for letting me speak, and have a happy Rainbow Day. Peace.
Doesn't this look like a dangerous individual to you? Don't you feel a lot safer knowing that the police are taking care of Pauline?
Cops are thieves!
Stop the stupid! Stop the stupid! Stop the stupid! This is a young lady who's running for office in Jackson.
Hi, hey, how you doing? My name's Val Cochran-Toops, and I'm running for the 65th District. And it goes almost all the way around the city of Jackson. All the way Eaton Rapids, all the way over by MIS, a little bit of everything going around Jackson. If you know anybody who lives out there, I need to make it past the primary. I've got a speed bump that keeps everybody from getting to where they need to be. So I need to get past that speed bump. So if you could help me in the primary, if you know anybody who's out there, please do. I'm definitely on your side. I want to represent you and anybody that you have that's out there in the 65th. We need to stop hurting our people with laws that just, they're not what's good. They're not what's right. We all know what's right. Right? Right. So let's not be abused anymore. We've got to stop having laws and stop the raids and stop all this stuff that's just prosecuting and persecuting people. Let's the people of Michigan have what they voted for. It's on our Constitution. Let's do it right. We got to stop the raids.
Stop the raids!
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 All right, and we're going to stop them. Get me there, and I'm going to help you. Thank you.
My name's Chad Moore. I just had a couple more things I just wanted to say to everybody real quick. One thing, when we were talking about going around in Otsego County and getting the petition signed, the most discouraging thing that happened in that entire process was knocking on doors and hearing people tell me that they were not registered to vote. If anybody here knows people that aren't registered to vote, tell them to go out and vote. Get people registered, encourage them to do that, because the people that are in here are voting. We need to vote as well to get the proper people in here to do the right things for us. I noticed that since 2008, we have all been wanting laws regarding dispensaries, regarding edibles. Nothing's been addressed. We have ordinances in Gaylord, we have other towns like Flint with ordinances, and now we have a bill that's being drafted to stop cities, stop business owners, and stop dispensaries from filing suit of recourse against the state or cities because of an ordinance. They're awful reactive to something like that, but they can't react to a dispensary bill or to an edible bill in multiple years. That doesn't make much sense. It tells me these people aren't looking out for our best interest. Looking around here, and I see one shirt jumps out, Jen's wearing it. It says Seed to Cure. To cure. We didn't pass a bill that said seed to prison. We didn't pass a bill that said seed to death. Seed to cure. Let's keep this going. Let's keep up the fight. I agree with Mr. Irwin. He's definitely somebody on our side. We all need to go to these 2 other buildings and let everybody know why we're here after this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm getting a report that somebody's getting raided in Ann Arbor right now. Where I live. Let me tell you something. You want to know why I'm standing up here right now? Because I'm the person people call when they get raided. That's right. And I'm sick of it. I am sick to death of it. Ann Arbor's supposed to be safe. Washtenaw County, Genesee County, Ingham County. Really the only 3 counties out of the 83 in this state, because they're all, the prosecutors really set the tone. I just don't know how much power they have anymore if there's a raid going on in Ann Arbor, Michigan right now. We are living under a police state. The government of Michigan is so corrupt. There was a report released last fall that put us at 50th place regarding transparency and ethics and integrity in all 3 branches of government. You have to work very hard to be 50th. That is not an accident. That is intentional. They do not want democracy. They have suspended democracy in this state. Governor Snyder suspended democracy. You think Flint is the beginning? You think Flint is like the biggest problem? And yes, we've got problems in Flint with poisoning the poorest children in the state. And that is how they treat all of us. We are all up for sale. Jesus Christ. Who's next? Anybody want to talk next?
Cops are thieves.
Were you raided? No. Were you raided? You got 3 minutes. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Dana. I'm a small-time caregiver. I only have 2 or 3 patients, but you know what? Every night when I go to sleep, I have to triple, quadruple check my locks and my doors to make sure that I have enough time to, if the cops came in and knocked in my door in the middle of the night, I'd have enough time to at least get my dog situated so they don't get shot. I have to worry about everything being taken. All these people who have talked earlier about everything that's been taken from them. I'm a full-time student. I'm trying to decide what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And if the police came in and knocked down my door, my whole life as I know it would be over. All because I give medicine for free to an epilepsy patient who has been on 12 pharmaceuticals every single day for the past 10 years. And since I have picked her up as a patient, she has dropped down to 2 pharmaceuticals once a week. She was hallucinating. She would wake up in the middle of the night on these meds and see her whole floor covered in a sea of snakes, where she would scream bloody murder for her husband, and her husband would walk in and have no idea what she's talking about. And that's her daily struggle, is because she has to live with someone who can only understand from the outside what her condition is. And so when her meds that her doctors have her all doped up on are affecting her making her look crazy when she's out in public in front of friends, when she could just be taking a toke. 1 toke for her. That's all she needs. And you know what? She doesn't have to take those 12 medications. This is not about big-time people. And you know what? The people that are affected the most when dispensaries are shut down are the people who don't know somebody, who aren't connected. You know who those people are? They are our older friends who need help. They don't know the weed guy. They don't know who's growing the best stuff. They can only go to the dispensary that's in their neighborhood to obtain their medicine. And they should not be scared to do that, and we should be able to provide that service for them. Please, it's not just about talking to your friends about what representatives are doing what. You need to be more open about your cannabis use. You need to talk to regular people. Don't cringe when I ask you what you do for a living if you make your living helping other people. Because the more we tell regular people, the more it becomes less scary to them. We might see this as being totally normal, but for a lot of people that I talk to who are not connected to our community, it's a whole nother world. So we need to bring in everyone so that they and we can vote out who we need to vote out.
We're going to wrap things up pretty soon, although Josh Covert did send a text that he's on his way, which I hope means the Josie, Dakota, and little, let's see, they named her Cadence are headed home, hopefully. I want you folks a good look at Mr. Jerry Spencer here. He's doing a documentary on legalization of marijuana. And he's set up, I don't know where he's set up, right down there. So please, if you want, when we're finished here, please come and talk to him if you'd like.
Everybody has any good stories that you need to tell. I want to get all the faces of cannabis out there and let the world know that we're serious about stopping these raids. We're serious about getting this legalized. We're serious about getting our medicine to us the right way. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Okay, so here's another raid victim. They just keep coming on up the stairs.
Hello, my name is Daryl Simpson. Thank you. 4 years ago, Attorney General Bill Schuette was given a gift in the form of a Supreme Court ruling that gave him the tool to ruin many lives, many businesses, and many opportunities for future business for people like you, people like myself, and people who can't be here today. On February 24th, that tool was used against me and my family and my friends and everybody I know in my circle. They came to my place of business, my home, another place down the street that was going to be very soon a city-regulated commercial grow-up that was one phase away from being granted occupancy. They found nothing in there. They took everything from my home that was valuable, my cars, my computers, my cell phones. They tried to coerce our cell phone codes out of us to get any information they could, potentially even threatening the fact that our 2-year-old daughter would be taken by CPS if we did not give her the code so we could get someone to pick her up. Then they escorted us to jail, where I spent 60 to 70 hours, I don't even know. 20 to 30 of those hours were spent in an isolation chamber because I happened to see my own wife in a bullpen and I blew her a kiss. And that seemed to be enough to piss off the guards that I was riling everybody up. So I honestly don't know how long I spent. It changed everything I thought about what the criminal procedures were and how people could be treated in jail. It disgusted me to my core, and I don't want to see anybody ever go through what I went through or any of these other people have gone through worse over a victimless crime. It disgusts me. I can't take it. And honestly, I've never been charged with anything, and I'm not sure I ever will be. I want this to stop. Please, everybody, do everything you can. Contact everybody you know and stop these raids now.
Hello, my name is Stacy Berger, and I'm from Genesee County. I work at Hardcore Harvest in Montrose, which was raided last month by Genesee County Fang. I believe ours was a simple case of vengeance. Our boss, his lovely neighbor, is a lieutenant of Fang, Mr. Jerry Fowler. So I believe that he was behind it 100% just because he is jealous of Mike. But I think a lot of people are affected by it. You know, me, I just worked there. I'm a single mom. I did the job to support my kids, give patients their medicine. And I believe the raids need to stop. It's just no crime, no victim. So stop the raids.
So Stacy was raided in Montrose, is that right, where that happened?
Yes.
And that was by Fang, Flint Area Narcotics Group. Those are the same folks that went to Thetford Township saying, give us money, give us more money. So something that, Representative Irwin urged you all to go meet with your representatives today before you leave. I hope those of you that have the time and the ability will do that. But you really want to go talk to your county prosecutor, okay? You want to go talk to your county commissioners if you can, and tell them to start taking a very serious look at what the Drug Task Force brings to your community. Because they're not going to bring public health and safety. They're going to decrease public safety by creating danger where none previously existed, by putting guns in children's faces, by knocking out your dog's eye, and they might steal your sex toys. So you might want to go tell them that. And if you don't feel like doing it, give me a call. I will. Thompson said that was good until the last part. I disagree. We fight a lot. Where's that next? There was someone else. Maybe there's nobody left. Come here, Steve Green.
Right here.
Yes, here comes raid victims, SWAT survivors. Come on up.
Steve Green. The other Steve Green.
Don't confuse me with the other Steve Green on Facebook. It happens all the time. So listen, I just wanted to give you a couple of words before this thing closed up. The first idea is that, police have been very liberal with this raiding situation because we've allowed them to be. I mean, sometimes we come to these protests and, people hear us, they understand what's going on, but the fight hasn't stopped and it's not going to. The police came to my door. I was sitting in my living room watching television. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what the hell is that? I go to the door, it's the police. But it's not just a cop or two cops. It's 18 of them. The whole street is lined with flashing police lights. And raid cars, the big giant box cars like they're going to pull people out of my building. I'm just in a 70 by 14 foot mobile home. I don't know what they're expecting. But I sent the police away that day because they didn't have a warrant. And they came to my door and said, look, I want to come inside and talk to you. I'm like, really? We're talking right now. We don't need it. You don't need to come in. That's what's great about the doorway. We can have the conversation. And so I said, do you have a warrant? And they're like, no. I said, well, it seems that I'm on private property and I have civil rights and part of them are privacy. And so unless I have a warrant, I could just easily send you away. And they said, well, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. I'm like, well, the hard way, what's the hard way? Well, we could go get a warrant. Well, let's just be honest about this, officer. If you had reason to get a warrant, you'd have had one at the door. You wouldn't have just knocked on my door talking to me now. You'd have busted the damn door down. Yeah! So let's just, well, I'll tell you what. Come on inside. All these, come on. It's cold out there. It's like 20 degrees below zero. If you want to call me a criminal, you better have an opportunity to do it right now because I'm just going to go ahead. Now, I'm not advising that you do this. But come on in, make moles of yourselves. Now remember, you guys are, I know you're in raid uniforms and you got the masks and the hats and the guns and all the stuff. I know that you guys are used to conducting raids, but let's just be clear what's going on right now. Here's not a raid. You're here at my invite. I let you in. Make your guests of my home act like it. You're not dumping my cereal onto the floor. You're not throwing my clothes all around the building. You're not destroying anything. You're not shooting pets. Watch out for the attack cat. And the cat did jump up on the cop's shoulder. He's like, ah! But so, I eventually, I'm not going to, because it's a long story, I'll save you that story. But it's amusing, though. But it's not amusing when they're coming to your door under threat of arrest and prosecution and jail and stealing your stuff. They came back 30 days later after I sent them away that day with their tail between their legs, knocking on my door with 3 police officers, trying to take my caregiver status because I pissed off the sheriff because I called a news conference and started a goddamn radio show. Yeah! Now, right now, I got woken up by a newspaper reporter yesterday morning who told me that my township was passing a law, an ordinance that they're about to publish in the paper as a part of making that ordinance official that says you can't grow marijuana if you're a caregiver and don't have a special zoning now. They're trying to separate this. If you're a patient, you can grow your marijuana where it's at. You can grow your cannabis as a patient if you're just going to grow 12 plants. But if you're going to grow more than 12 plants because you're assisting somebody else who's in your same situation or a similar situation as a chronically ill person, you can't do it there anymore. You're going to have to move to another location that's an acre and zoning property that's supposed to be, residential agriculture. I got to live on a freaking farm. So this is going on across the state. They're doing this township by township, city by city. They're trying to do this very same thing. The Township Association is running this stuff around. And so I contacted the people at my township. I got a copy of that ordinance. And we've had words before. But it's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to hold in my township, it's Lyon Township, out by Milford. I'm going to, first off, I'm going to ask them to reconsider because nobody had a public hearing on this issue. Nobody was there because we didn't tell anyone. So let's have a public hearing about this and have input from the people. And then, if you're not willing to do that, then there's always the referendum. I'll get enough signatures in my community and force this to a vote and we'll screw your little ordinance. It's not going to stand because people are going to come and vote against it. And if I can't find satisfaction that way, I'll take you to court like I did the first time and we'll pass the same ordinance that the Supreme Court found in Wyoming was this is what you got to do. You just got to stand up for yourself. You got to stand on your rights and assert them, because if you don't, they'll be taken away. That's all I got to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve Green. I know you guys are cold. We're going to start wrapping stuff up. We do have some more speakers. I want you to listen very carefully to me. Americans for Safe Access has a lot of documentation on their website about raid preparation. This is very important. I want you to be ready. They are doing sweeps across the state. This is not, yes, they've always attacked us, but now it is escalating statewide, okay? So I want you to start seriously considering raid preparation without terrifying your family and your employees. And here's why. If you are detained by the drug cops because you were involved in a raid and you do not pick your children up from school, CPS will. So if you work for a dispensary, if you're at work and you work with medical marijuana, if you're a caregiver, make sure you've got someone to pick your kids up if you can't get there, okay? That's number one in my books. Number two, if you own a business, set up a system, identify patients who are willing to come if you get raided and protest on site, get a media list together, give somebody the hot phone at work, and if those guys come in the door and they make one call to the other person with the hot phone, usually it's me or Robin, or the lawyer, or someone who's got the hot phone, and your list, they call the lawyer first, they call the protester second, then they call the media, and then they get their butts to the facility, because when people show up at a raid and protest, they don't know what to do. I've been in a couple of them. These guys are used to doing whatever they want. These are the guys that shoved your face in the locker and called you a loser in high school, and the football coaches loved them, okay? So get your butts to the raid with signs, get your butts there so that you can protest right there and get the media there as well, okay? Raid preparation, start thinking about it, please. We've got another raid victim SWAT survivor here. I don't know whether I should call you guys raid victims or SWAT survivors. This is Dina.
Hi, a lot of you guys know me as Dina K. I was raided 2 years ago. They brought a SWAT team to my house at 7 in the morning. Thankfully, I was under the influence of my nightly medicine still, or I would probably really freak out. I don't think that made them very happy, because I was very calm with them. I knew what I was doing was the right thing and the correct thing, and I was doing nothing against the law. They came into my house, they brought 2 SWAT team vehicles with everyone was armored. They came up to my house like a caterpillar. It was in the middle of the winter, 7 in the morning, hands like this, feet spread. I'm walking like this to the door. I get a no-knock raid. I have a steel door. They couldn't push my steel door in. They broke my whole frame on the door. I had SWAT team members with guns pointing at my head.
I want you to look at that gentleman walking away in the black coat with the silver hair. It's Mike Zimmerman. He is the man who reversed the decision on autism when we tried to get... should do this every day. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Dina.
They deserve everything. They deserve everything.
Anyway, folks, this raid was really bad, and I was there by myself. At the time, I was 55 years old. I'm so fortunate to have this medicine. I'm out of a wheelchair. I have multiple sclerosis. I'm a diabetic. I've had 7 strokes. This medicine has gotten me out of my wheelchair off insulin. And they are telling me that I am doing something illegal when I'm doing what I need to for my patients and myself. At the time,
My youngest patient was 52 years old. My eldest was 62, and I'm 55. And they come to my house. They about killed my dog. He was so ill, I've been treating him for a long time. I found him on his back in a seizure. When they took me out of my house, I was lucky I fell asleep with my clothes on, or else I would have been out in the middle of the street in front of my home, naked, because they did not care. They carried me because they about ripped my bum leg off with the damn snowbank they were trying to push me through. I decided to pick my damn legs up and let me carry the skinny ass. They tore both of my rotator cuffs. When they put me in the car, they recorded me having a seizure with my head hitting the window, screaming at me to cut the fucking bullshit, because they know the MS doesn't cause seizures. Within 30 minutes, my blood sugar had dropped to the point I knew I was going to be in a diabetic coma. There was an EMR setting out there. I told these fine gents, we could avoid that EMR if you can just give me a cough drop. They offered me a dog biscuit. And they told me that EMR was not there for me. It was there for them. In case I, little old 55-year-old Dina, could go shoot one of them fucking SWAT members out there.
Assholes!
They brought in a K-9 unit. They brought in the DEA. They brought in the AFG. They brought in the city of Wyoming. They brought in the sheriff's department. They brought in the city of Grand Rapids. They brought in the county sheriff's department. And by golly, there wasn't fucking enough. They had to bring the robots to my house. Mind you, I'm 55. I'm by myself. I have only a dog that's about ready to die. But I'm so threat to these people. They have to bring fucking avatars and robots to my house and K-9 units. Folks, I did nothing wrong. At the end, even a fucking helicopter flew over. I walked. They took nothing from me. I did nothing illegal. But I walked away with PTSD to this fucking day, and I'm tired of it. I never broke a fucking law in my life. I have never even had a fucking parking ticket. And this motherfucking state told me I could legally go, that I could treat myself, and I could treat my patients, legally do so without fear of prosecution. And these motherfuckers come to my house and give me PTSD when I'm doing God's work out here. Stop the fucking rage! Stop the rage! This is our medicine. We are not criminals. You are making us into criminals. Stop the rage!
Stop the rage! Stop the rage! Stop the rage! Stop the rage! Stop the rage!
Every person I talk to has PTSD who has been raided by drug cops. This is one of the most violent things that can happen to you. So if you've been raided, please educate yourself about post-traumatic stress. Please get treatment, and you know indica is the #1 kind of medicine. I work to get PTSD added to the list of qualifying conditions for which we can get our medical marijuana card, and this is exactly why. Peter, you know, nobody really knows how to say this man's last name. I'm going to let him tell you, okay? I hope you're keeping warm out there.
Hi everybody, my name is Peter Troes. It is Polish for big piece. Hi everybody, my name is Peter Troes.
It's TRZOS, and it is. So it's Troes, and Leeds is Polish for a big piece of wood. With the obvious connotations. You know, frankly, I'm tired of telling my story. We're all the same. The police fucked our lives up, they broke into our homes, they took our livelihoods, our health, our families away from us, and it's the same. So the only thing they didn't take from me is my ability to fight.
And along with my friends Shane Trejo and Scott Tillman, we have launched oakforfeiture.com. We are following the Safer Mish model of doing a bunch of local battle initiatives, and we have launched 3 cities on March 8th already in Oakland County to stop civil asset forfeiture. Yep. And we have a lot more coming, and we're looking for volunteers to help go out and collect signatures. Some of these cities, to amend their city charter, are so small, it only takes 30 signatures. That's one person, one afternoon, to get in the newspaper, raise awareness, and make a difference. And a couple of my good friend Sharmi, we're going to use that press coverage and schedule hearings and get even more and put pressure on these politicians to finally represent us or get voted the fuck out. Thank you. It's oakforfeiture.gov. If you don't live in Oakland County, I'm glad to share our wording, and you can do it in your own cities throughout the state. Thank you.
Is Josh Colbert here? How about David Rudoy? There's Michelle Colbert. Michelle, come up here and speak. Until Michelle can make her way up, please. We're going to listen to Timothy Locke. He's here to speak to you about Abrogate, Michigan.
Hello. I'd like to thank you all for showing up, Sharmi for putting this thing on. As they said, these raids, they need to stop. I ain't going to be able to say anything that hasn't already been said, with the exception to the solution. The solution, as Mayor Young said, or Senator Young said, is to fully repeal. Leave them nothing that they can kick you with. It's time for us to stand up and kick Lansing, D.C. in the nutsack. They have not followed the law. They have not followed the will of the people. They are following their plan from 1970 called the Controlled Substances and Drug Abuse Act. Then they turn around and start the war on cancer. And then we get the Schaefer Commission for the drug abuse policy to prove how bad that cannabis is, and it shows that THC shrinks tumors. In 1974, our government knew pot cured cancer, and they shut it down, and they're arresting everybody for it. This is what it's all about. You can't beg your servants. They think they're kings, and they think the king's over there, but they are nothing but your employee. They cannot rewrite your law, but we've been allowing it because we've been silent. It is time to stand up, get pissed, and tell them enough is enough. The only way we do that is with a swift kick in their taint, and it's called Abrogate Prohibition Michigan. We're going to grow this state from the ground up, and we're going to take it from Michigan to the rest of this country like our grandparents did with alcohol prohibition. So we need to make the extra step. We need to miss the mistake they missed. They did it at the jury box, the jury nullification. That's out. They don't have that option for us. So we're going to take it to the Constitution, because that's what our grandparents should have did. They did this cut down, but they missed the last step. It's time we make that last step of prohibition of marijuana, and we stop it, we end the raids, we end the arrests, we end the kidnappings, and we show these assholes that they are the servants that they are. Abrogate Prohibition Michigan. Can we repeal cannabis prohibition? Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Folks, I've been asked to do an update on MI Legalize. By the way, Abrogate's a great petition. You can sign Abrogate and sign MI Legalize legally. So please make sure that if you get those petitions out there, you sign each one, but each one only once, okay? Now, as MI Legalize goes and MI Normal, we have a couple of events coming up that'll give you an opportunity to participate in marijuana law reform. On March 26th, we have a fundraiser in Flint for MI Legalize. On April 1st, which is the night before Hash Bash, we have an MI Normal quarterly meeting at the Eagles Club in Ypsilanti. On Hash Bash morning itself, of course, we have Hash Bash at Monroe Street Fair. That evening, we have a wonderful fundraiser for MI Legalize right in downtown Ann Arbor. All of the principals that you'll be seeing speak at Hash Bash should be attending there, including the wonderful Tommy Chong! And we have so many other things.
John Sinclair will be there too. Sinclair's a badass. That's why I've been doing it for a long time here in Michigan. Dan Sky from High Times will be there too. So many different opportunities. So make sure you participate. Take a look at milegalized.org. Check the Air Brigade website. Make sure you take a look at that. Keep tuned on what's going on through Facebook. Watch my site, which is thecompassionchronicles.com. And make sure that you are participating in the democracy that we live in by voting, by registering to vote. Vote in the primaries. Vote in the major elections. Run for office yourself. Write letters to the editor and make sure you participate in your local city and council meetings. We have some VIP packages too for some wonderful offerings for the High Times event coming to Clio. Make sure that you attend that MI Legalizer fundraiser on the Saturday evening. Please, Jamie will tell you the right stuff. Here's what's coming up. For the participants in the Flint fundraiser, you get the first crack at bidding on an ability to have a private lunch with a small group of people with Tommy Chong on Friday, April 1st, or 2 different VIP packages for a meet and greet with Tommy Chong. That includes a +1 and a lot of cool stuff. The people who are putting it on, BDT, the legendary BDT head shops, are also going to be creating a cannabis museum, and they'll have a lot of the future exhibits at that meet and greet, along with Tommy Chong taking pictures and doing signatures. And somebody has an almost exact duplicate of the Love Machine, and that's likely to be out there too, some photo opportunities and things like that. So if you come to the Flint MI Legalized fundraiser, you have your first crack at making bids on those things. So, and again, thanks everybody for coming out, because we are all on the same page with this. There's a couple different philosophies with these petitions coming around. They do work hand in hand. They don't contradict each other, but we all agree that we have to stop the raids. We all agree when we were up north supporting Al Witt. There's a lot of things that we all come together strongly on. This is definitely one of them. So thanks again for coming out, everybody, and being a part of this.
The tag teaming duo of Rick Thompson and Jamie Lowell, everybody. So here's the one we've all been waiting for. Josh Covert has arrived. He has good news. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you for standing up here for 2 hours and listening to these horrific story after story. We're going to wrap it up after Josh, and we hope you all can get to your representatives and give them a little what for as well. Attorney Joshua Covert, everyone.
Well, I just got back from Kalamazoo, and we don't need to go there today. Everything seems to be okay right now. So I just wanted to give everybody the update on that. And hey, I'm so sick of dealing with raids. I do not want to have to deal with this anymore like everybody else here. I've seen horrible things because of this. I've seen children of people that were raided, medical records put on beds about miscarriages and that sort of thing, just to show that, hey, look, we ran your stuff. We know things that you don't want other people to know. And that's horrible that this kind of stuff goes on. So it really needs to stop. I need to stop seeing patients and good people put through the court system. I don't want to represent these people. I don't want to see them in the court system, but unfortunately, I see this on a daily basis. And I'm getting sick of it. So we need to all get together and put a stop to this. Stop raiding patients. Stop raiding dispensaries. We've had enough. Let's put a stop to it. Thanks.
You bastard!
Okay, should we all sing We Are the World, or you want to sing Fuck the Police? Let's see. I want to reiterate that I am the daughter of a law enforcer, and I have a unique position here, which is that we need police for public safety. We do not need them to kick in our doors because we have a plant inside. Thank you for coming here today. Everybody, one more time. Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Stop the raids! Thank you. Drive safe.
Thank you for Shirley Golson for arranging this and putting this on today.
And thank you to NPRA for buying us this beautiful banner right here. Stop the raids. Thank you, everyone. Please go see your representatives. God bless.
Yeah, first one right off the bat. I'm like, God damn it. While we were roaring out.
Hang on, I gotta. All right. I thought we were gonna do F the police. That's what I thought we were gonna do. There we have the impromptu end of today's broadcast. Stop the Raids, put on by Michigan Moms United and Charmy Golson. Appreciate you tuning in to today's Raw News coverage, brought to you by NoSmell.com, where you can go get your No Smell bags at a 10% discount. Just use the discount code FULLMELT. Until then, I'm Steve Green. I will see you this evening at 7 o'clock.